I'd like to throw something out there for you all to think about. There are some CODAs who are incredibly illiterate when it comes to American Sign Language. You really can't blame the CODAs because they're just kids. But I would like to offer the alternative, the parents, and see what you all think. I'm going to compare two different cases, and then you all can go ahead and tell me what your conclusions are about it after some discussion. When hearing parents have a deaf child, instead of signing to them, what they do is a very abusive form of raising a child. They take away their rights to sign language, throw them out the window, and then oppress them with things such as cochlear implants, hearing aids, and speech therapy. It's heart-wrenching and abusive. As a consequence of that, the children then have very unintelligible speech. And as a result of that, their speech is very unintelligible, and it is difficult for them to have any kind of meaningful relationships, especially with that of their parents. There's no room for tenderness between parent and child because they're constantly monitoring their language, and that is wrong. It's just wrong, and it's time to stop. The relationship between parent and child is incredibly important. The success of the child hinges upon this relationship. Mountains of scientific evidence have proven this. But that aside, I'd like to discuss something else that I find interesting. I'd like to discuss the case of the deaf parents who have children who can hear, also known as CODAs, children of deaf adults, or kids of deaf adults. When deaf parents have a hearing child, they're hesitant and wary about teaching that child because they know that their speech isn't intelligible, and so they don't know how to raise a child who can hear. However, when deaf parents sign to their children, it's easy for those children to pick up manual language. The children are fascinated by the language and soak it all up, boosting their confidence. Their development skyrockets as well, and they are easily able to switch between two languages because they are bilingual. Their minds take it all in. The problem comes, however, when deaf parents look back on their experiences growing up, when they were forced to have speech therapy and were forced to become quote-unquote hearing. They felt overwhelmed and scared because they were mocked and oppressed all the time, and they said that they understood things when they really didn't, and they don't want the same for their child. However, that's where the problem comes in. It's 2011, people. The evidence shows that the counter-argument for this is invalid. It doesn't hold any water. It's important for children to be taught language by their parents, no matter what the language is. When hearing parents have deaf children, they oftentimes give them only one option, which is spoken language. And this has negative consequences because those children often miss a lot of information. It drives me crazy. It doesn't matter whether it's manual language or spoken language. Whatever is natural to the child is most important for them to learn. That way that they can develop their language capabilities. It doesn't matter what amount of hearing a child has or doesn't have. The most important part is that the parents foster an environment within their family where language is communicated in a way that they can understand. Got that? All right, I'm out.
Take that last part again because he talks, the emphasis is on the family.
Here. And they don't understand a lot of what is said, and it drives me crazy. The important part is that the children learn whatever language is most natural to them, so that they aren't concerned about their development. It doesn't matter what amount of hearing a child does or doesn't have. The important part is that the parents make this a priority within their family to foster good communication and language development.
Mm-hmm.
You got that? All right, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.